Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Cedar Run Decoys. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world famous Andy Shaver.
Get those decoys. Lose Earn is something from Cedar Run. Speckle Belly from Cedar Run. You got a little bumper over there. So
if you got death in your family,
you got Death Row. Hit up Cedar Run. They can, or if you're just wanting to hunt over some
All-American looking homemade decoys. And we got a new member of the Big Honker collection come out this fall. It's pretty cool. We'll release all that later. With us today, debatably the greatest wide receiver to ever come out of Oklahoma State, and no doubt about it, the greatest wide receiver to come out of Stanford, Texas, Mr. James Washington. James, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How about you guys? Glad to be here.
What did Gus play when you were there? That's what I want to know.
Gus played tight end. Tight end and corner.
I didn't know. So he did play? They let him in the game?
Hey, fun fact, I had one more interceptions than him our senior. I had 9 and he had 8.
Ooh, boy, he's just a ball hawk, wasn't he?
Herbert was a good ball. Herbie was a good ball player. Don't be hating on Herbie. I'm telling you right now.
I'm not hating on
I think you're hating on Herbie.
I'd always tell him I wouldn't have had as many touchdowns if he didn't block his butt off.
Yeah.
Right?
Herbie's a good dude. So, James, I want to ask you a question. As a former All-American Biletnikoff Award winner, does it just make you pissed off on the inside to know that you missed out on that NIL money by about 10 years?
It does, but, I mean, when I look at it now, I feel like it's ruined some guys who actually have talent, who got money hungry just a little too early. I'm kind of glad how my life went.
Oh, you got a great life, lots of blessings. But I used to ask Jim Kern this. He pitched for the Rangers, and he was one of the best relievers in baseball. Well, if he pitched today, he'd be making $15 to $20 million a year. He didn't make that in his whole career. You at Oklahoma State, and what's the guy's name? The rich guy that gave all T. Boone Pickens was still alive then, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
T. Boone would have given you a blank check. You'd have been getting a couple million a year to be playing.
It would have been nice, but, I didn't really come from much money, so it didn't take a lot of money to make me happy.
That's a good attitude to have.
What did you – so when you were at Oklahoma State, did you get – I mean, was there anything?
No. I mean, we got a monthly stipend that was plenty enough for me. I mean, our rent was probably $300 per guy. I lived with 3 other guys in the house, and we just split the rent and for electric. I mean, we were good. We probably pocketed $600-700 extra dollars after that, so we were good.
So what was your stipend?
To get us in and out of the bars.
How much was your stipend?
It was $1,200. Then it went up to almost $1,500 my senior year.
It's just crazy. Now, okay, so I'm going to get a little personal here. When did you get an agent?
I got an agent my senior year because you can't sign during the year, but I signed as soon as the bowl game was over. I went and had dinner with them, signed.
Your senior year of college?
Yes, sir.
Now, I mean, you got to have an agent almost coming out of high school for some of these big recruits.
So Quinn Ewers had one his junior year in high school.
I was going to say, I didn't know they have NIL agents now.
Oh, they do?
Oh yeah. Hell, they've got general managers for football teams now. I just saw where Max Crosby's going to be the general manager, I think, for Eastern Michigan now. They're using guys. So someone like you, even at today's cheap standards, you'd be getting $500,000 a year. That's crazy to think of a 19-year-old college kid or 18-year-old college kid getting that kind of money, and then the coach don't understand why he can't get his ass out of bed to school and stuff. There's no leverage. They don't have no leverage no more.
Life just got a lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, especially to an 18-year-old kid like you said, how many of these kids even, I mean, that's a lot of money. To an 18-year-old kid, $500,000, you think you got the world by the dick with $500,000.
I'm telling you.
But you're not going to make it out of your 20s with that.
Oh, there's a long
unless you invest really, really well.
There's a long list of names right now of kids that go into college in bigger cities that are spending a lot of money at titty bars and shit, wasting money. I'm telling you right now, it's happening. Now you go to a school, a small place. Well, you take Lubbock, Texas, for instance. They got some high end tip bars there. There are some boys that are 18 years old. They're getting paid, and them girls are being the benefactor of that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And a lot of those guys are going to take a pay cut if they make it to the league.
Quinn Ewers is a perfect example of that. He should have waited one more year, collected that $4 to $8 million, and then went and played. But he's in a good position because he's just one head injury to Tua to have an actual chance to get a play.
That's very true. That's very true. Tua's had about a concussion every season, so he'll definitely get some looks this year, I'm sure.
So is your buddy going to be the quarterback at Pittsburgh this year, you think, or do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to sign with him finally?
And I love Mason to death, but I feel like Aaron Rodgers has to be in the mix. I mean, they got $150 million thoroughbred over there that they're going to need some gunpowder, to keep him happy.
DK?
Yes.
Yeah. That was a big signing.
DK that dude is built, man. He looks like a horse running. He's strong.
Man, I saw an interview with him. He was talking about what he eats in a day. It's all candy and coffee. It's all he eats.
Huh? Coffee?
That's it.
I've never been a coffee guy, but I did hear about the Skittle deal.
Yeah,
he loves
candy, Skittles, and coffee. That's all he has. And then he'll eat like one meal at night.
He's cut like a bag of dope. I mean, Jesus. You're talking about some great genetics. His grandfather was one hellacious NFL running back. Great running back.
You better enjoy that high metabolism.
Yeah, no shit.
When I turned 26, I started spreading out. I had to watch what I ate.
Are you going to try to play football, or are we retired?
I'm going to try. I'm trying one more year.
Do you have a camp deal yet set up?
I don't at the moment. I'm just still working out over at the field house in Abilene and got my agent calling people, and we'll see if something happens, and it does. If not, I'll see where God wants to point me.
What can you run the 40 in still?
I'm still 4.5.
Shoo. What about you, Andy? Yeah. You sub 5 still?
4.6, 4.7. I'd give James a run for his money.
No, we're talking about 40 yards, not 10 yards, Andy.
Oh. We had the little pee-wee track meet yesterday, and my son, for 2 weeks, he's 10 years old, he's been coming to me, and he's like, Dad, how far is it from the cafeteria to the bus barn? And I'm like, maybe 100 yards, maybe. He's like, I ran that in 9.8. I'm like, son, you're not running a 9.8 100. Well, that's what the clock said. That's what the clock's saying. So I'm like,
somebody's got a fast thumb.
I'm telling you, if you're running a 9.8 100, we're skipping tomorrow's track meet and we're going straight to the Olympics.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're going straight to the Youth Olympics.
Yeah,
as a 10-year-old, that's world class, buddy.
That's world class for a 10-year-old. And then he finished, I think, third in his class. So he's not even the fastest in his class, and he's running a 9.8 100.
There's some world record setters there.
Yeah.
Those others.
Yeah, it's what you get when you're a greyhound. When you bleed red, white, and blue, you just run a 9.8 100. So I timed him yesterday, and it was more around 17 seconds. I showed him that whenever he got done, and he was like, I don't know, Dad. I don't know. Something's off somewhere.
You're going to find him training somewhere by itself one of these days.
Yeah. So what is your workout like every day now? You working out 6 days a week, 7 days a week, or what, 5?
5 days a week, off on the weekends. But, I mean, we're running on Mondays, legs on Tuesdays, upper body Wednesday, more like an agility day on Thursdays, and Fridays like the gauntlet, the full body. We're going to hurt all weekend and come back and do it again on Monday. Now,
is this pretty close to what you did your entire career?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Even in college?
Yep. Even in college.
Yeah. So
it's like I don't know anything else to do. I've worked out 5 days a week more than half my life, so it's kind of just a habit at this point.
Do you think that even when you're done, like let's fast forward a couple years from now, do you think that since this is something that's so ingrained in the way, like you said, you've been doing this half your life now, do you think that you'll still just kind of have something to do 5 days a week?
Oh, for sure. I'm getting involved with the field house over in Abilene. I've been thinking maybe taking some kids, maybe once I retire, take a little break or something. Take some kids like twice a week, work with kids, just try to help kids get to the point I got, and we'll go from there and see what else happens.
You were, blessed genetically. You know what I mean? I mean, you just looking at you. I mean, you just had it. And even at like a school in Abilene, how many of those kids do you see that can move on?
There's actually a kid at Abilene High that looks pretty good. We just had a 7-on-7 tournament at the field house there, and we actually won. He's on our team, and He can move pretty good.
Is he getting recruited by anybody?
He's actually recruited. He's going to UTEP.
Okay.
Yeah, he's committed to UTEP. He's a receiver. I think he'll be pretty good.
With your position, the position that you played in, everybody carries so many of them. So, I mean, I got to think that you're going to get another shot this year, especially like even if you don't go right at training camp, there's so many injuries.
Right. And that's one of the hardest things is you got to stay ready because, I mean, once the season starts, you're like, hey, I'm going to slack off a month. Once you slack off and get to the end of that month, that's usually when the team will say, hey, can you fly in? We got a guy rolled his ankle or ACL or whatever it may be. And you're going to get there and look like shit, and they're going to put you back on that plane and send you home. So you never know when your number's going to get called.
Did you know when you got cut at Dallas it was coming?
I did, just because my foot was still broke. And I tell people this, like, Dallas has got a special place in my mind, in my heart now, just because the way that deal unfolded. But, yeah, my foot was still broke once I came back, so I really couldn't showcase my true talents. And I ended up getting cut that week after I came back and went to New York. New York actually made it right. They gave me a great doctor up there, and I had surgery, and he fixed it, and now I'm 100%.
The Giants are a team that's wide receiver needy.
They are.
And so are the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, they just got George Pickens and CD, so, I mean, I can already tell you where the ball's probably going to go majority of the time. But, I mean, they'll definitely need some grit guys at receiver.
George Pickens is a volatile piece of dynamite fixing to blow up at any time. And that's what's costing him. It's going to cost him a big time paycheck. He has a chance. If he's good this year, he'll cash in. But if he has any of his incidents that he always does and bitches on the sidelines and raising hell, and Dak's not going to put up with that shit. He got by with that with quarterbacks he's had. He's not getting by with that with Dak Prescott. And that'll be the end of that deal.
Plus, I think a lot of people think CD's a diva, and there's moments. We all have moments when we're pissed off or whatever it is, but CD's actually a class act guy. I liked him during my time there, and he'll be the type of guy that, go talk to GP and talk him off that ledge. Basically, he's a good kid.
What's one moment that you look back where you let your temper get the best of you?
I'd probably say high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, high school was probably my worst because I was all just a ball of anger and wanting to hit somebody, and things were going good, and I can't remember what team. I feel like it might have been Heiko. We were playing Heiko, and there were some kids out there that, they weren't taught good manners at home, and just came out there saying the wrong words, and it just kind of took me off the ledge, and it got a little chirpy. It got a little gritty out there. I'll say that.
They were lining up getting your face?
Oh yeah, no, I got spit on that game.
Oh, you did?
That was during that championship run we had.
So was this during the playoffs?
It was.
Oh, I got a little chippy, huh?
Yeah, one of them just slipped up and said the wrong word to me.
That's all it took?
That's all it took. I didn't know better at the time. I didn't have any emotional intelligence. I was just a ball of testosterone. Just
what Hutch say whenever you got back?
Hutch grabbed me. He's like, "You cannot let that get to you." He's like, "I understand what he said. Trust me, I understand what he said. It's a reason to be mad." But Hutch was just always one of those guys. He was always calm.
Yeah.
Like he'd always put it to you in the bigger picture, So, but it didn't take long. Bo came over there and got me right.
Yeah, and that always sucks with Hutch because, you just want somebody to be pissed off with you. You know what I mean? Yes. Mac was that fiery one. Mac would he'd have your back in a fight, and Hutch is trying to talk you off your ledge, and you're just like, sometimes I don't want to be talked off a ledge. I just want to be pissed.
Yeah. Let me go.
It's funny though when Hutch loses his temper.
Yeah,
and that's what's funny.
I've only seen Hutch lose his temper one time. And that was about Hagan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was about Hagan. He's usually pretty good, but it's like once it's about my kids, it gets different.
I saw him lose his temper one time. We were playing against Baird. My junior or senior year.
Junior year.
And we were up big. We pulled out all the starters like third quarter, one of those deals, and they started like throwing Hail Marys on our JV and our freshmen. Flew all over Hutch. He was like, all right, boys, number ones go in. And we scored 2 or 3 more touchdowns and ran them into the dirt. And then it came time for coaches to shake hands at the 50. And Hutch let that other guy have. He gave that other guy a piece of his mind. And I was right in front of Hutch. So like I was there for every bit of it. And I was like, oh no, boy, this is just let me get to the locker room before we see these 2 head coaches trade. And Hutch was he was like, listen, that was classless what you did to those freshmen.
I'm trying to make it easy for you, and you're making it tough on them.
Yeah, you're throwing bombs on us. He was pissed all over that day, though.
Hutch is a great guy, man. I don't care what nobody says. That's one of the best coaches I've ever had.
He's a good man, 100% good man. So what's going on at your alma mater? Do you think that Gundy's got 2 years left, or is this it? If he don't win, I personally think if Gundy don't win 9 games this year, they're going to fire him.
Yeah, I mean he's had a lot of opportunities and he's deserved them. I mean he's put his time in there as a player and everything. But, I mean, now the game is about results. You know, it's not about we're going to stick and have, you know, we're going to be loyal to our alma mater. Granted, that is our deal, loyal and true, and they have been that to him. And they've given him all the opportunities to hire whatever coach he wanted. And I think this year he's going to have to prove, like, hey, I still have it, you know, as far as a coach.
Coaches can't build a program no more either.
No, the NIL screwed it up.
Yep. I mean, unless you're one of the 4 schools, you're Texas, Ohio State, Oregon, and hell, I don't know who, Georgia or Alabama or who else would even be in that. Maybe not Notre Dame, but nobody stays. Yeah. They pluck those 4 schools are pretty lucky. But if you're a quarterback and you've got a true freshman and he's the 3rd string quarterback and you think he's going to be great his junior and senior year, he's never going to be playing for you. Someone's going to give him $1 million to go play for their school. And
right.
It's hard. That's a hard deal right now. I think being a head coach at a big school is a tough thing unless you're at one of the ones that's going to capitalize. Texas Tech, for some reason now, that guy with all the oil money is spending money like crazy, and they're starting to be that next school that's really going to build a program because they've got the financial backings. And I've told everybody before, if T. Boone Pickens was alive right now, Oklahoma State would have a busload of the best players in the country every year because he would have spent $50 million a year and not think nothing of it to win football games.
Yo, I'll tell you another thing that sucks about this. And I was talking to a kid from ACU. He started off as a walk-on there, ended up making good grades, and they basically granted him a full-ride scholarship. And then the receiver coach came from Tech, I think this is what he said, came from Tech. And now he's coaching at ACU, and basically he cut all the receivers there and brought his receivers.
Yikes!
So I get it, but it's like you said, they have general managers now, so they can do those type of things. But I remember when I was in college, once you gave a guy a scholarship, you couldn't take it away unless he was detrimental to the team, or he was getting in trouble, or whatever it may be. But I mean, I know the kid. He's worked his butt off to get it, but it's just one of those things now. The NFL has changed every category of football now.
What do you think about the NFL expanding their game to 18 regular season games? Because I think that's going to happen after next season.
It's a lot of wear and tear on some of the older guys. You may see some guys sitting out a little longer. But you'll definitely see that money go up, which they did. They made the salary cap, I think $30 more million, I believe.
But because you're going to get 2 bye weeks with it, so that's going to make 20 weeks of regular football season. There's going to be 2 preseason games. That's 22. Then you got the Hall of Fame game, which is the 23rd. So basically, there's going to be football for 23, not counting the playoffs. And they're talking about they're talking about expanding the playoffs by an extra week. So that's 5 weeks. That's 28 weeks. With training camp, you're talking about football 36 months a year, over 6 months, almost 7 months a year of football. I guess March, April, May, June will be the only times you don't have football going on.
Yeah, that'll age some guys pretty quick. I bet we'll start seeing a lot of name changes throughout the league. A little sooner than we have been. I think the average career was like 2 to 3 years for an NFL guy.
Yeah, it's insanely short.
How long do you have? How many do you have to suit up for 60 games to be vested for retirement? Full retirement.
It's just 3 years, but in order to do that, you have to play in 3 games per year.
So a guy like you made it, but a lot of guys, there's a lot of guys out there though that are not going to make it because they're going to be on the practice squad. So being on a practice squad roster does not count.
No, it does not.
And they're talking about expanding practice squads too.
You're going to have to.
They made it to where I believe you can only be on practice squad for 2 years.
And then they got to decide what they're going to do with you?
Yes.
Can someone else put you on theirs?
These guys going to the UFL.
The time on the practice squad ran out. Now, can another team pick you up and then the clock starts over, or is it 2 years in the NFL on the practice squad?
I believe it's 2 years on a team, if I'm remembering right. I could be wrong, but I believe that's right.
Right. Now, what does it mean with like Jeff said, to be vested? So you've made it, like you've done your time, so you get full NFL retirement.
Yes. So basically, once you turn, I think you can take it out as early as 55, but if you wait till you're 65, they basically give you the money per month. And the longer you play, the more money you'll get per month, basically.
Now, do you get full medical coverage now?
I'm not sure on the medical coverage. I know once you retire, they give you 5 years basically on the NFL insurance for free. So
yeah, because
I bet you have to pay something at least.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you, like, how does that work? Like, you got hurt in Dallas, but that would make sense for the next 5 years. You're on the NFL's dime, whatever you need.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah, because that would suck coming out with all these injuries, and it's like, well, how am I going to pay all these medical bills?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you don't get invited to an NFL training camp this year, are you going to coach high school football this year?
I don't know. I want to coach. I want to coach high school football, but I've seen some of the parents, man. I don't know.
That makes a lot of sense. Trust me.
I just want to work with the kids. I don't want to have to coach parents on how to be sports parents. You know,
parents are terrible generally. It doesn't matter what you talk about. I tell you what, I'm so put out with parents. We just had this conversation a minute ago. Parents today act like the community's supposed to pay and raise for your kid, but you don't want nobody to get onto your kid because it's your baby and you carried him for 9 months. Bullshit. You know, it takes a village to raise an idiot, and a lot of these idiots need all the help they can get.
I'm trying to tell you, I had a lot of hands on me in Stanford and people instilling stuff in me.
Yeah, because if you screwed up, someone was going to jump your ass. And if they jumped James's ass, your mom and dad weren't going to get mad at them for getting onto you. They were happy that they cared enough for your kid. But exactly. Those parents are hard to find these days.
Yep. Newer age, man. No one. Kids don't get whoopings anymore. You know, it's hey, just go sit on the couch for a minute, or go sit in the corner, go to your room, and play with your toys for about 5 minutes, and then come back out and let's try again.
Yeah, it's no accountability, but I can see where coaches, that would be a tough deal. And what's funny is somebody like Wayne, he can get by with a lot of stuff because he's a winner. So if you're winning as a coach, you can be a lot more disciplinarian because they'll give you that buffer. But if you go to a town and you're a new coach there and they've 0-10 for 3 years in a row and you're there the first year and you're making kids be accountable, well, you're just a horse's ass and you're hard on their kids. Once you start winning, then you can be that way. And that's what's sad is they don't give guys a lot of good coaches leave because they get frustrated with the parents.
Exactly, and that's kind of why I haven't dabbled in. I helped Coach Mack out in Tile in high school. I had to go there and work with their receivers a little bit, but I didn't really get much time to really get hands on with them. But that's why I just say if I was to ever coach, it'd be one-on-one sessions or just take a few kids every other day and they just come work out with me. I can't do it for a program because I feel like it'll get under my skin if a parent comes up to me and says something.
There's a lot of money to be made in those private deals, like these DBAT, these DBAT places. They got those kids going in, and they're stealing money too, because some of them kids ain't got any athletic ability at all. Oh, little Johnny, he's looking a lot better this week.
Literally, I literally told my wife that the other day. I said, I will refuse to take someone's money if I feel like their child may not be cut out for it, and we'll just have to have that talk, But it may not be football, They may be better at baseball or tennis or basketball, whatever it may be. But I feel like I've been around football enough that I can kind of tell.
Shit, James, first time you tell some old fat lady her kid ain't no good at stuff, she gonna want to whip your ass. She knows more about football than you ever did. I can't wait for that conversation, boy. Ma'am, little Johnny right there, he is no good.
I am cheap. I don't want anyone wasting their money or time. Because those are things that you can't get back. You can get money back, but you can't get time back.
No, but I can't wait. You get your ass chewed out so bad.
I saw Marshawn Lynch actually have that talk with the lady at one of his camps. It's on YouTube. I bet you can find it. And it got pretty chippy. And he kept telling her, like, "Is your husband here? Is your husband around?
Oh, shit.
I'd like to speak to a man, please."
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't like being mansplained at all.
And when he told her, is your husband here? All that just, it's one of those Karens, I just set her off. And yeah, that was good though. That was good.
Every time we go, our oldest granddaughter plays travel basketball. So I mean, they're pretty good. They're really good at beating the hell out of all the local teams. But when they go to big cities or play against Dallas, Houston, it's a whole different ball game. But it's funny, I can always pick out the lesbians' daughters that are playing because those gals get into that shit. I mean, and you can tell, I'm like, oh, that's her daughter right there. And them gals get into it. But that's the kind of woman right there, you ain't got a chance in hell of trying to explain to them that their kid's not going to be a professional basketball player.
Yes. Sometimes I know when to keep my mouth shut, and sometimes I know when it needs to be said.
You're going to figure out that, this price is basically just like daycare to them. And
yes,
there was a guy, Chael Sonnen, he's a UFC fighter. And he's like, I get so pissed off whenever these guys, they get inducted into the Hall of Fame and they go up and they thank their mom. They thank their mom for getting them here. He's like, these dummies could never figure out that putting them in martial arts class was cheaper than hiring a babysitter for an hour. So... hey, I'm okay with that. As long as they understand that that's what they're spending their money on, I'm all good with it. Yeah. But right. Have your expectations in check.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can keep coming all you want, but that scholarship might not be there at the end of this.
Can't blame me for it. I gave them 110%, whether they were good or not.
Who's the best athlete you played football with?
Antonio Brown. I will say that till the day I die.
Just amazing footwork and speed.
Yeah, and just his work ethic. Like, the guy would wake up at 5 a.m. and do a workout, then come to the facility. We have practice about noon, works out, does another workout after. Then he's doing yoga later on that evening. And he would eat right. Everything was on time, his meals. Like, he treated himself like a pro,
Now, he also had a sleep deal, didn't he? Sleep in a
hyperbaric chamber.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that about him. Now, he's had a lot of problems lately. A lot of it, I think he's got what's
CTE.
CTE. I think when he hit the kid for Burfict.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been the same mentally since then.
No, some of those hits will leave you like that. Granted, I've never been hit that hard, but yeah, I remember my rookie year. It was just like he went off the deep end, but he could still move. He could still work. He still knew football, but you try to have a normal conversation, it was just didn't go what you thought.
His dad was the greatest Arena Football League player of all time, I think, or one of them.
Yep, he was. I know a few guys in that Arena Football now.
Yeah, I think I just saw recently Antonio Brown said he's broke.
He's broke?
Yeah.
God, he's made a ton of money. That's a shame, but it sure happens
I'm pretty sure it was Antonio Brown.
I knew Antonio Brown had a team, and I knew a kid that played on that team, and I'm not sure it is, but he said that he basically didn't pay them for half the season because he just didn't have the money.
That's a shame. What about these guys that wait every week? There's guys that they're not on the active roster, and it's every week they're not on the active roster, but they're on the regular NFL roster. Does that count towards their game time, or does that not count?
Does not. You have to suit up.
So if you're suited up 3 games a year, and you're okay.
Yes.
Okay.
As long as you're on that 53-man roster, you're good.
Do you get paid if you're on the inactive roster the same as you do if you get a game check?
You do.
Okay, so it's just the guys on the practice squad that aren't. Because we got a friend of ours that plays for the Braves baseball, and his difference between when he's up at the majors is about 10 times the amount for a week's work that he gets when he's pitched in AAA.
Yeah, if you're practice squad, that pay doesn't change unless you get to the playoffs. Once you get to the playoffs, everyone gets paid the same.
Oh, even the practice guys do?
Oh, yeah.
Boy, that's a big bonus for them guys then.
Yeah. So and it may not be the exact same as 53, but it's definitely a lot more money than you were making.
Oh, those practice squad guys got to be like, y'all get y'all shit together.
Yeah, no shit. We got to make the playoffs.
I need a deck.
That's how it was in Pittsburgh because I'm trying to remember how it was. I think second round of the playoffs, you're making like $50,000, like just in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and those guys,
it's crazy amount.
But the practice squad guys are making $100,000 a year.
Probably a little more now. I mean, it's still 6 figures, whatever it is. I mean, you can't really do that unless you got a really good job.
Yeah, that's where people I think lose sight of this, especially these guys that play pro ball and they play ball for 3 years and they're making, what's the NFL minimum, $1 million a year?
I bet it's about 700,000 now, somewhere there.
Okay, 700. They're making 700,000 for 3 years, and I'm thinking, hell, and that's a damn good. There ain't very many jobs paying 700,000 a year, and then all of a sudden they get cut and they can't make football, and they're like, I just need to find me another job. Well, got news for you, bud. You ain't making 700,000 a year right now.
Nope.
It's like I saw that Ulbrich. His son did the prank call to Shadur Sanders. Well, he got fined $100K. He's only making $7.
Yeah,
they fined him $100K, and they fined the Falcons like $250, I believe.
Yeah,
if that's just chump change, though.
Yeah, to the Falcons
Blanks guy, that's no big
deal.
But
to Ulbrich, you're making $700,000 this year, and $100 of it's got to go to pay this fine for your kid being a dumbass.
I have been mad at my kids before. I'm not going to lie, and everybody that's a parent, especially as you kids get older, there's going to be some moments that you're going to look back and think, that dumb fucker. But when your kid does some shit like that and that embarrasses you and it's all over ESPN, I promise you he wanted to make that kid a popsicle and stick his foot up his ass. Oh.
Yeah, that's detrimental to your career.
Home life, family, every damn thing about it, boy, is bad.
And then the dumbasses filmed it is the worst part.
They'd have never got caught if they wouldn't have filmed it.
Yeah. Yep.
Your draft day, I mean, you didn't have anything like that happen. I don't assume, did you?
No, I didn't. But I almost missed my call because 2 weeks before the draft, I left my phone in an Uber when I was in Miami, and a guy, he kept my phone. The driver, he kept my phone. I had to get a new phone. Couldn't get the same number, so basically I had to get a new number. I didn't get my new number out to any other teams. And Coach Tomlin and they called me twice.
Ooh.
And finally they decided to call my agent, and then my agent called me and put me through with them. They didn't have my new number.
Oh, shit. You almost missed everything.
I almost missed my call.
Now, I'm going to be the one that's politically incorrect on here because I am all the time anyways, and y'all both know me and you know how I am. But what they did to Shador was shitty as hell. But then again, that's one fucking badass prank to pull on someone. It's a shitty thing to do to someone at that moment. But God almighty, they went above and beyond to pull a prank that they'll talk about. When them guys are 75 fucking years old, they're going to be talking about that shit still.
Yeah. That just sucked because I know he was just waiting on that call because he thought he was going to go first round, second round, third round, just kept dropping.
That was a humiliating day for him.
Yeah.
But he was excited when that phone call rang.
He was.
Yep.
Now what? You were a second round pick, weren't you?
Yes, sir.
Did you have that expectation, or did you think that you could sneak into the first round?
There was a lot of guys from bigger schools. I felt like I could have went first round, but I think just my play style didn't match. I mean, we had Calvin Ridley, who can stop on a dime at full speed in about 2 steps. And then you got DJ Moore, who's just about the same thing and built. And I just feel like my game was more down the field, big body. I wasn't as agile as those guys, but I was physical. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like that was why I went to Pittsburgh. That was why I was drafted and played the way I was, because I just didn't have the agility of some of those guys.
You were realistic about the whole thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So when the first round goes by, you're not all pissed off or upset. I mean, sure, you wanted to go in the first round if you could have. That'd have been a hell of an honor, but you kind of knew, like, okay, my place is going to be in the second round somewhere.
Yeah, plus my agent at the time was keeping it realistic for me too. I had Drew Rosenhaus. That's who I signed with.
Yes.
And Drew was just kind of talking to me the whole way. I mean, basically after every pick, because at first it was, hey, the Cowboys might take you first round. And then it was the Ravens may take you first round. And that went by. And I knew once that went by, I felt like Pittsburgh would be the one, just because my interview was probably the best with them as far as the dinner and the official meeting that we had at the Combine.
Okay, so what is that like? So you got this official visit, which I have seen reports that the Browns and the Sanders family are threatening to sue the Giants if they release his footage of Shadeur's interview with Dayball. Evidently it was a train wreck. What do they do with this interview process? Do they like give you a set of plays and like, hey, talk us through this, or what?
All of them are different, and they do weird shit, man. I'm gonna be honest. So when you're at the Combine, they basically clear out all of these rooms. You're in a hotel. They take the beds, they take the dressers. They're just empty rooms, and you walk in this room and it's dark. So they have the projector on over everyone's head. There's probably about 12 to 15 scouts in this room, and you walk in there and there's sometimes the owner's there, but it's mostly the head coach, GM, offensive coordinator, and receiver coach sitting up front based off what position walks in. And you introduce yourself, they ask you about family, where you're from, all that, yada, yada. And then they'll just basically tell you, hey, draw your favorite play up on the board. So you'll draw it, and everyone's watching you. They're taking notes. And they'll say something like, explain to me why you like this play. What does it do to get this guy open? Why does this guy run this route? They just want to know your IQ of the game. And then there was one, this guy asked me, he said, if you could be a fruit, what fruit would you be? And I'm like, what does that have to do with football?
So what fruit were you?
What was that?
What fruit were you?
I told him a pineapple. And I was like, I said to everybody else, you know, I'm hard on the outside, everything, but there's just a little softness on the inside, but everybody likes it, you know. I was just trying to make it funny,
right?
And he did laugh, so I guess it was funny to him. But yeah, that was my answer.
What kind of fruit would you be?
So they're trying to block the Giants from releasing that, which I don't know why the Giants would release it anyways.
That's what I've seen.
It was terrible. It was a terrible interview, supposedly.
I heard there was some deal where he basically just kind of bullshitted through.
Yeah.
Kept his headphones on with music.
Yeah, just didn't take it serious because he didn't want to go there.
From what I understood, what I read, and it's just strictly reading, just like everyone else does, and Dayball said, he goes, the kid acted like he was coming in here on a recruiting trip and not a job interview. Like we're supposed to roll the carpet out to you to get you to want to come here. And he said, no, you're coming here to interview for a job to be our starting quarterback. We want the best you can possibly be. And I don't blame them. If you're paying someone that kind of money, and this is my thoughts on this collusion shit, all this stuff, all the owners colluded. Them owners ain't colluding to do shit. Them owners want to win. They don't. If you're a serial killer and they could get you out of prison for 10 years to play football, if you make them a better football player, they're going to do it. They don't give a shit what you do on the side as long as it don't get them in trouble with the media and the NFLPA. That's it. Am I right on that?
You are, and even some of those owners, they don't mind a little bad publicity because all publicity is good publicity.
That's right.
Publicity. So, hey, that's like Henry Ruggs. I heard he's supposed to be getting out, and he'll be on probation, and I'm pretty sure there'll probably be a team take a chance on him.
Oh, I think so. I think so for sure. What I think is my thoughts on that was completely different than everyone else's. If I was that family and they got that wrongful death suit on him, I'd say, hey, let him go play football. Let him keep half the money and give our family half the money that he makes, because we're going to get more off that than we're going to him sitting in prison for 5 years. I know that sounds absolutely terrible, but hey, I'm a jackass anyways. That's how I feel.
At the end of the day, that was somebody's daughter too.
No. I understand that part, but they lost their daughter. It ain't coming back. But if you want to get something out of that, then let him play football for 4 or 5 years, and you get most of the money that he's making, because that's more than you're ever going to get anyways.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's definitely one way you can do it.
Yeah, not about him. It's about what he can. We all know what he did, but that's the only way you're going to recoup anything out of that. So, but yeah, he will. He'll get another try.
Yeah, I bet he will. I bet he will.
What? How much do you think Tomlin has another year or two?
Man, the Rooney family loves Coach Tom.
He ain't going nowhere unless he really retired. We just lost James.
They love him, and they just, as long as he keeps getting positive games, I really don't see him leaving unless he decides to.
Right. Yeah.
Loyalty's hard to come by. And when you've got that kind of money that they've got, they're billions, and they want to win Super Bowls, there's no doubt about it. But they also like to be around good people. And they like him. He's a good person. He's just a good guy, and they want to win a Super Bowl, but they'd rather win 9, 10, 11, 12 games every year and have a good person that they like than to have some jackass like Bill Belichick come in with his 24-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. And Tomlin, just Steelers history. They hadn't had very many head coaches.
I think 3.
Yeah, I was going to say they so that basically goes to show you, as long as you're loyal to them and you're teaching these guys to be good men and you're helping out and you're giving us winning games, I don't see no issue with it.
I'm 57 years old, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have had 3 coaches in my life: Chuck Noll, Bill Callahan. Was it not Callahan? Not Callahan.
Cowher.
Bill Cowher and Mike Tomlin. In 57 years.
Yeah,
that's crazy. I did see reports are now they don't know if Belichick's going to make it. They don't even know if he's going to coach his first game at UNC.
All because of that crazy woman.
Yeah, I saw something. They didn't ban her or something?
Yeah, they banned her from the locker room, from the facilities.
Yes, that's what it was. Yep.
A lot of wars and a lot of money been lost off the hairy end of a gut, and he's going down with the ship. he's got a lot of money, so that hairy end of a gut, he's okay with that. He's got so much money, he'll just go to Nantucket on his island with her in the house, and I think she is definitely not just a gold digger. She's a gold digger that's trying to move up the mountain as fast as she can.
Yeah. Yeah.
She found her out. You got to get them when they're almost 80, and you don't got to wait too long.
She worked her way into some commercial he was on, they said.
Yeah, I saw that.
There's some out there that are like that, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. That's got to be weird too. Like when you're in your position, is like, what are you really with me for?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you never know. I've been lucky and blessed to get a good one, so I'm blessed over here. I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, no, I know it's definitely for you, but it's just like, they're just, you're young, you're rich, you're good looking, you're in great shape, and then you've got these hot little pieces of arm candy, and
Belichick is none of those.
He's rich.
He's rich. That's it.
I was going to say he's got the money.
He's a rich man. There's no doubt.
I was talking about players more.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about players more than I was about Belichick.
Okay, I was going to say good looking and young. We're not him.
I don't know. You got to almost have you almost got to have like a combine for the women. You know what I mean? Trip them up. Trip them up. Give them some questions and see what they're really there for. Is this just a job interview, or do you really love me?
I think the problem is most of those men are just having unlimited tryouts to be there. They're not expecting to actually keep one, and he caught one.
Some of that, yeah.
And so that's kind of what happened.
So now you're into, you got horse. How many horses do you have now?
15 after today. And I need probably 6 of them gone.
Well, so how did this start? Was this always the plan to like start breeding horses, or did you just get one and then all of a sudden you got 3, and then did this just grow?
Basically what it turned to at first, when I met my wife, her family were big ropers, and I wanted to get in a team roping, got into it. Then I wanted calf rope. Then I wanted to dabble into the cutting horse deal. And we just kept stacking up horses and piling up horses. And now we're like, hey, we got to get rid of some. And they're all bred very well. And I think they'll be good horses for someone. So if there's anybody out there that wants a horse, please call me.
From James Washington.
Has Bucky Nail bought one of your horses yet? You need to sell one to Bucky.
No, but I bought one of Jamie's horses.
That's where it all started.
I did buy hashtags filly off of him out of the sale. And she's actually in cut right now. She's doing very well.
Did you go to Western Heritage last weekend?
I did. I went to the match races.
You did?
Yes, sir.
Was Gus there?
He wasn't there at that time. I think they were trying to get the baby out of the heat or something.
Yeah, he was. I think he was going pretty hard in the paint. I told him to pace himself because I guess last year it got a little hairy for Gus.
If we all know Gus, we know he doesn't pace himself.
No, he doesn't like.
Especially since his wife Brooklyn, she's got him drinking Bud Light now, which that if you know Gus, he's never drank Bud Light. It's always Natural Light.
Why did she make him switch?
Hey, sometimes love will make you do things that you never thought you'd do. You can tell he definitely loves her, that's for sure.
He didn't come on the goose hunt this year with Bucky and them.
Did he not?
No,
after he raised hell about me naming it the Bucky Nail Goose Hunt. It's like, no, this is the Jamie West hunt that I invited Bucky on. So then he don't show up after we named it the Bucky Nail Hunt. Cause I'm like, oh, come on, Bucky's Hunt. Oh, it's not Bucky's Hunt. It's the Jamie West Hunt.
but he said he could.
Not Jamie, Herbie West.
He said he couldn't go because it was too close to the due date. Well, it was like 2 weeks before she was even due.
Good for him.
So I don't know. I don't understand why.
Maybe she told him no.
Gus is making smart decisions now.
Yeah. And a happy wife is a happy life, they say.
I'm trying to tell you.
I guess. So what else you got going on? You got horses. You said you got to help your dad change a flat on a tire or on a tractor.
Our 45-55 we got. It had a flat tire on the front. And then we had a baby colt this morning that his mom, she doesn't want to have a big bag. So we got to get him to the vet and get some blood drawn, make sure he's got the colostrum in him.
I bet
he's looking good, so I think he did get it, but she's not producing enough milk, I don't believe.
You ever pull that shit on your dad that you're an NFL wide receiver and you got other shit to do?
Oh no. he wouldn't let me live that down if I did. And my dad's the type of guy, he'll do that. Okay, well just go ahead. I'll just do it by myself. But he's gonna insinuate that I'll just do it by myself, And he knows that I know he's about 73, 74 years old, so it just kind of pulls on that heart, like, hey, I'll do it. Go ahead, go do what you got to do. I'll do it. I'm not leaving.
Did he go to a lot of your NFL games?
He came to the ones in Texas. He did. My dad's not a flyer, so it meant a lot to me. He came to one of my games in Pittsburgh, and he actually flew it. And he'd always tell me, son, if God wanted me to fly, he would have gave me wings. And yeah, man, he actually flew down there for one of my games. That probably meant more to me than anything in my life.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the NFL players that might be changing a flat on a tractor today, and I just can't think of that. Not many come to mind.
Offensive lineman.
Probably Purdy. That'll be the only one that may know how to do that.
Yeah, he's a country boy.
His family's got a lot of row crops up north.
Who of all when you traveled and stuff, who had the nicest facilities?
I'd probably say New Orleans.
Really? I would have never guessed that. New
Orleans, like training facility, and their like treatment area where their trainers and stuff. It's been the best, and I think they're like ranked second, I believe.
Ain't Kansas City like the bottom? Them in Cincinnati?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they spend a lot of money. They spend a lot of money in New Orleans. In Miami, I've heard is probably the best.
It's crazy. The Bengals still have they don't have an indoor practice facility. They just practice outside underneath the freeway.
Yeah, matter of fact, it is under the freeway. Yeah,
I just can't imagine. Can't imagine that.
What about the stadiums that you played ball in? Which ones had the best facilities for the visitors?
I'd either say Cowboys or I'd probably say SoFi out in LA.
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I've never played at the Raiders. That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the new Raiders facility, but never played there.
Did you get to? You played for him. Did you get to meet Jerry Jones much?
I did. So actually, I met him when I was coming out too. I flew down to Dallas and had a meeting with him.
What's he like?
Just like he was on Land, man.
Kind of seen that. I see that.
It was literally the same kind of talk. Like, I'm gonna try to instill ways to make you money and this. Like, I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, he just sometimes they do things to the football team that you're like, what are we doing? But if you actually have a conversation with him, he's actually a pretty smart guy, and he gives you good advice.
Well, there ain't no doubt that nobody can argue the guy's a smart man. He's a hell of a business guy. I mean, he changed the whole NFL. And for the young people, they're like, what do you mean change the NFL? Before Jerry Jones, there wasn't corporate sponsors. I mean, he was big business-wise. He is a genius. I think he's just too loyal to some of his players sometimes. I think that cost him problems.
Yeah. That's a lot of it. And sometimes just let the coaches coach, you know.
When you were at Oklahoma State, Des Bryant was the great receiver before you got there, right?
Yes.
And before Des, it was Rolando Blackman, right?
Justin
Blackman.
I guess
Rolando was a basketball player.
It was Blackman. Blackman was before me, then Dez.
Okay.
I think before him was like Rashawn Woods.
Well, Rashawn Woods went to San Francisco. But
then you got Hartley Dykes back in the day.
That is way back in the day. That's when I was in school. But what happened with Blackman's a sad deal. And he's just, I guess, drank himself into a bad situation. Because I saw a picture of him the other day, his mugshot, and he looked terrible.
Yeah, he's a pretty big guy now.
Well, he was a hell of a football player.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
I watched all his film. I watched every play, every snap, every practice snap of his at Oklahoma State. I watched it.
Well, he was good.
It's a sad deal. I saw the arrest video, and I mean, just passed out in the back seat, and not good.
Was that the when he was in Jacksonville?
No, just recently he got arrested.
Stillwater.
Oh, I didn't know they had a video.
Yeah.
I remember that happened because it was during the alumni weekend. I was actually going to go down there, but I had too much going on here.
It's a bad deal. But you know, I was in Stillwater. Me and Coach Steele were chasing tornadoes, and we stopped and ate at a Mexican restaurant there. And a guy was talking to us. And I think he knew Coach Steele from coaching or something, and we were talking. And it's right when Blackman was coming out to go to the NFL because Jacksonville drafted him like the 10th or 11th pick. And the guy told me, he goes, you know what's crazy? He said, Blackman came in here and drank all the time. They sent an investigator in there to see how many times he went in a week to drink because they were that concerned with his drinking issues. And the guy told us about this right after he got drafted in April, and we were tornado chasing in May. So he was a first-round pick that year. And he said that's how much, he said that guy drinks that much that the NFL actually had someone come, and they sat in this restaurant for 3 or 4 days to see how many nights in a row he come in there and drank.
Gosh.
That's too bad.
I can believe it. They actually called my elementary teachers.
No.
Yeah, they went back and talked to elementary teachers. They sent like some of my older coaches like questionnaires and stuff to fill out on what type of guy I was, just because I didn't really have much stuff out there. And they'll go back and check your Facebook by the time you create it just to see the kind of stuff you post.
Ain't it amazing that some of these idiots actually get drafted then?
Yeah.
It just
I guess it depends on, hey, what can we deal with and what can't we deal with?
Yeah, I mean, they're making a multi-million-dollar investment into these guys, so
exactly.
Dot your I's and cross your T's. Well, listen, dude, I know you got a lot going on today. You got a flat tire to go fix and a.
You got a website on your horses, James?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm old school. You just hit me up on Instagram or anywhere, and I can send you pictures, videos, whatever it may be.
Very good. Well, look, we're. I hope you get picked up by somebody this summer. Hope you get another shot now that your foot's all healed up. Well, that was like a 2-year process, wasn't it? Getting that foot healed up.
It took me about 2 years to get back fully, for sure.
Just because you like kept trying to push on it, or what?
Yeah, and I couldn't get the screw to set in there. So basically, they put a compound in there to try to hold the screw next to the bone, and I could feel the screw bouncing around in my foot. It was loose. Yeah.
We were watching that day. We were watching NFL Network, and I think they were with the Cowboys, and we saw you go down.
Yep, at camp.
Yeah,
rode him at Stephon Diggs, just ran a go route, and I kind of leaned on him a little bit to press him off, and once I put my right foot down, it just sounded like a number 2 pencil snapping. That was it.
Did it hurt, or did you have enough adrenaline at the time where it didn't feel bad?
I had a lot of adrenaline, but I knew exactly what it was. Because it was like, as soon as I sat down and grabbed my foot, it was probably about a minute later, I felt that heartbeat in. I was like, yeah, it's broke.
Yeah, we were watching that day, and I think Jeff might have even said something whenever you went down, and bad deal. But you're healthy now. Just need another team, and
and you know what?
For you wherever you go.
You even sent me a deal. You said, hey, I hate to tell you this, but I know I'm signing with your favorite team. You're going to be so excited, Jeff. And I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to watch fucking Cowboys and actually pull for somebody. But I drafted CD this year. But every year I drafted Dak. I also had Dak in a league. I've drafted Dak 2 times in the last 7 years. Both times he's got a season-ending injury. So Dak Prescott, if you send me $100,000, I won't draft you this year, okay? The fat boy's got to try to get paid also.
That's all it takes. Listen, man, come out here and see us.
Definitely got 100,000 for sure.
Yeah, he's got that.
He's got a couple extra
change.
Come out and see us this winter, dude.
We'll have to for sure.
Take care of myself. You come out on that Bucky Nail hat, the hunt that used to be the Gus West hunt, but now it's the Bucky Nail hat.
We'll leave Gus at home.
That's right. Well, it sounds like that's what it's going to do anyways. Take care of yourself. Take care of them horses. God bless you, man. Great dude.
Yep. He is.
Great guy. Anyways, James Washington. If you're looking for a horse, check him out on Instagram. What's his Instagram? It's not just James Washington. Is it something else?
Just type in James Washington.
James Washington.
Find him.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to us. God bless y'all. Have a great week. We got some dates left. I've got the Boss Steel Reserve Goose Hunt. The Dove Hunt sold out. The Boss Steel Reserve Goose Hunts, 3 days hunting, $1,200, lodging, meals, and hunt. Be a lot of people out here. Be a good time. Anyways, hit me up if you're interested in that. I think it's November 16, 17, 18. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's been a long day, and I don't have all my days straight. But anyways, holler at me and let me know. Look forward to seeing you. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.
Watch for deer. And check out all of our great sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Shells. Pacific Calls, be sure to use our promo code BHP25. Dive Bomb Industries, Ducks Unlimited, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear, Looking Glass Podcast, Lucky Duck, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Mallard Bay, and Mitch Hall Chevrolet.